Yeah, there definitely needs to be struck a balance of planning and action. And I think that action needs to take precedence because planning will never get you there. It's the action that'll get you there. And if you fall along the way, the point is you get back up and you continue. And that's what you learn as an entrepreneur. There's always a solution to a problem. As I said, within the last 2 months, I've already got this property that is generating income for me and freeing up my time in the background such that I can go out and do other things like serve the youth at my parish or be with my family or go out with my friends. And also it will provide an income stream such that I can go and help out others. That's the win of this business. It is so doable. Equipped with the right information and with the right community, you will definitely thrive.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Behind the B&B, season 3. So we are getting on, with this recording and sharing stories from people within our community who are running their own Airbnb businesses. On the show today, I'm so excited to have Murielle joining me. Hi, Murielle.
Hi, Steph. It's my pleasure to be here.
Without further ado, I want to hand it over to you. And, who is Murielle? Why don't we get into your story, who you are, and a bit of your background.
Okay. I was born in Lebanon and I came to Australia when I was 3.5. I've lived in Western Sydney ever since. I lived for a short period of time in France for about 2.5 months. I went to UTS and I studied law and international studies. I was admitted as a lawyer in 2022 and I started off in personal injury law, but I recently made the jump into commercial contract review. I don't know how to sit down and not do anything. I think I've only watched like 3 movies and 0 TV shows since year 11. I'm the eldest of 5 siblings. I also am currently the spiritual coordinator at the Maronite Youth Organization. So it's just the youth group, basically.
Amazing. Your background is just incredible for the age that you're at. Why Airbnb and how have you fit that into everything that you're already doing?
Basically, last year, towards the end, my friend, shout out to her business that she's just launched. It's called Delicata. It's a skincare business. She's an incredible mind, and I'm so blessed to have her as a very close friend. She encouraged me because she wanted to work on building herself and creating residual income for herself, thinking about her family and thinking about the future and wanting to create options for herself and her family. And so she shared that with me and she asked if I'd like to come on a journey with her. And I said, yes, most definitely. She listened to a podcast by Robert Kiyosaki at the time and was really impressed. So she wanted to read his book. So we set out reading his first book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I highly recommend everybody read as well. I was very impressed by what I read. I had pretty much internally believed the things that he'd written in his book, but never consciously thought about them and thought about the fact that I actually had the capacity or the tools and the resources and the ability to go out and do something about it and do more than just be an employee. So that's where the journey started of thinking larger than just going to a 9-to-5 job and, living the life of university job, going home, only having time to see your family in the evening, if that, struggling to make ends meet and thinking bigger. I have fantastic friends who want to push me to grow and we want to grow together. And that's really been the driving factor, as well as my own internal desire to just do more. And I just have a lot of ambition, basically.
Wow.
Initially, I wanted to start up my own firm because I was working as a contractor for the solicitor I'm currently working with, and I still am. And so I could obviously do my own thing as well on the side. But then I realized it was going to take almost till the end of the year to get the certifications that I needed to be able to open up my firm. But I did take a risk and go down to part-time work rather than full-time to be able to do that. And so I had, 2 days on my hands where I wasn't doing anything. And because of the mentorship on Instagram, I've liked all of these, business success pages. So the algorithm started to show me all these ideas and, entrepreneurial videos. And then James Murphy's advertisement came up on my feed and I watched it a few times, but I never thought, this is what I want to do, because this was at the time when I was planning on opening up my own firm. Then when I realized what the setbacks would be and how long it would take, I was sitting on my bedroom floor one night and I thought of my brother. Being the older sister, I always thinking about how can I, make sure that my family, even, my siblings, not just my husband and future children, God willing, but my current family, that they're looked after as well. And thinking about the skills in my household, so I'm a solicitor. I have a sister who's in film. She's working her way to becoming a producer. My other sister is in fashion design, so she's really good. She's got a lot of creativity. My mum's also very creative. My dad is a tiler. He's built our house, thank God. Years ago,
Wow.
we knocked down and rebuilt, and he did it all. And my two brothers are very hands-on. They're the two youngest. So I thought we had all the skills that would be required to run a short-term rental company pretty smoothly without having to look outside, And so I thought, if I start this and then it becomes a family business, I think it would be a great opportunity. And so I just said, I'm going to go for it. August 13th, I had the call with one of the onboarders at GPWN, and I was ready to jump on and do it. I signed up, got my company set up on my own, got the branding and marketing, the pamphlet that I was going to show agents, watched a couple of coaching calls, which are so helpful. I think they're the best thing about the program with GPWN, because you get on there and so many people at different stages of the journey ask questions, so you learn what you don't even know you need to know. That's what I value most. And all the coaches on the coaching calls have so much experience, and it's just a beautiful community of people willing to share as much as possible to ensure that everyone succeeds.
Yeah.
It's really a win-win, which I love. It's a beautiful community and everybody is so positive in it. And so I watched a couple of those, prepared myself to speak to agents, and after I think 2 weeks, I went for it. I started looking for properties online. I obviously purchased a software that allows you to look at the data and see, which area am I going to start in.
Which, by the way?
Airbnb. So
Airbnb.
Yes, yeah. That's the one I'm using. And when I was on it, at the time, it was saying that the area of Fairlight was doing really well. So I thought, why would I look anywhere else? So I just started searching for properties in that area, and I thought Manly would be the nicest. So searching for properties, and then I went to my first inspection with my dad about 3 weeks into, the program with GPW. And it was very, very quick. I hit the ground running. I'm like, I'm not wasting any time. A bit of background information also. So my name is Murielle, and it means shining sea, bright sea, or star of the sea, which Star of the Sea is a reference to Our Lady Star of the Sea, so Mother Mary. And the Latin phrase for that is Stella Maris or Stilla Maris. So I wanted to name my company after my name, and then I knew that was the meaning. And also, most importantly, because I wanted it to reference Mother Mary, because her hand is with me in everything. I finished a consecration to her on the 11th of February last year. And ever since then, it's the amount of confidence I had and belief and, on the way, just throughout life, it's been incredible. And I really thank her for it. So I named my company after her. And my first inspection, I arrived and we parked outside a school. As I'm walking, shut the door of my car, I'm walking and I look to my right where the school is, and the sign of the school is right there and it says Stilla Maris Public School. Or it was probably
crazy.
a private school, actually, probably a Catholic school.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, okay, Mother Mary is with me. I know I'm going to get a property here. And then I went to a couple of other inspections. The last house that I inspected, the agent was so lovely and so willing to help me. Shout out to Rodney from Clark and Hummel. He suggested that, he had a property that he could show me, which was just up the hill. A bit of a bachelor pad, he said, but it could really work for what I was going for. And I said, okay, great, I'll go ahead and see it. After I inspected the property the first time and I told Rodney that I was happy with it, that I'd like to proceed, then he arranged an appointment with the landlord so I could speak to him directly.
Amazing.
Yeah. The landlord was very lovely as well. He also turned out to be Lebanese. And everything went well, signed the lease. I received the keys on the 3rd of October. And I initially intended on listing my property by the 10th. So even though it was going to be my first and I knew 1 week was going to be a stretch, I was like, no, I could, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. And that's what I did. I shot for the stars, but I landed a little bit further below the moon. I ended up listing my property towards the end of October. I think it was the 22nd of October that I listed my property. And the holdup was that there were many other things going on in my life at the same time. And so I didn't sit down and just write a list of everything that I was missing. And so I would go to the shops, buy something, and then go back to the property and then go home and then realize, oh, wait, I still need this and that. But the main holdup was the internet. which is the
Mm.
silliest thing. But now I know
Mm.
for next time, you live and you learn.
Not bad, not bad for, yeah, your first launch. 2 weeks, did you say, into the program? Third week, you're viewing
Mm.
properties. How many had you actually viewed before you secured this one?
Uh, probably 6, something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And the agents were actually very lovely.
yeah.
I didn't come across any that was so opposed to the idea at all.
That's amazing because, and maybe you've heard some stories in the community as well. It doesn't always happen that way for some
Yeah, that's
people.
right. I
Okay?
think it's
Yeah,
very key to know how to speak to people and to understand that you need to be able to solve a pain point for them. And that's something that James focuses on a lot. The way that he explained everything, I was already familiar with it because of the mentorship that I was a part of prior.
yeah.
So these things, such as, pain points and association and the right habits to have and the entrepreneurial mindset, they were already
Mm,
familiar to me. That's why I believe I was able to start and launch so
100%.
quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
and your mindset as well. I
it's
mean,
the
you've
biggest
come
thing.
biggest contributing factor
Yeah,
to your confidence
yeah,
as well and how you present yourself,
yeah,
and so,
correct.
yeah,
And another
that's
one would be your why. And
yeah,
my why is greater than myself. So
yeah,
it gives me the motivation to propel me forward. If as soon as you lose momentum, it's all gone downhill.
that's
And
so true.
if you have a why greater than yourself, I don't think you could ever lose that momentum.
It's the biggest driving force for sure.
Yeah,
So I want to talk more about your property. So let's go back because it's absolutely beautiful.
thank you.
And so it took you 3 weeks to set up. We had internet issues. I
Yes.
think bane of everyone's existence when it comes to setting up properties. Even
Right.
mine, when not so long ago we set up a property that we've got over here
Mm.
in Perth, and so yeah, the decor. Let's talk a little bit about that. Like, did you buy everything, or was it partly furnished? How did that work out for you?
So the landlord was so lovely that he kept 2 real massive TVs in the property for me, and he also kept the washing machine, the dryer, and the fridge. The fridge it was scratched up on the outside, so it didn't look too good, but God bless my dad. He spray painted it for me
Oh,
using a spray paint that you'd use for like a gas heater. It worked so well, it looks
you
completely brand
knew.
new. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it was like
Yeah.
$40. Yeah, it was
Wow.
nothing. My family has helped me so much. So I bought everything new. I think that's very important. If I wanted to go and stay in an Airbnb, I would like new furniture or at least,
Mm,
clean enough furniture. And I
yeah.
don't, you can go and buy secondhand and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just wanted to purchase new, especially because I thought there are actually some great websites that you can find some great deals on. So
Mm,
I was able to furnish my property, I think, for about $10,000, which is
amazing.
really not much.
How many bedrooms is it again?
2 bedrooms.
Two
Yeah.
bedrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
pretty good. 10K for absolutely everything: furniture,
10 to
kitchen patch.
12. Well,
10
I
to
mean,
12.
especially because I already had the TVs and I already had the fridge
True.
and the
You
dryer
saved
and
them.
I've saved there. Yeah. I sat down with my sister who's in fashion design and we went through, items that I had chosen and she also found some of her own and then we worked together to come to the final product. She actually
Mm,
also was a lot better than me at figuring out which one's better value for money. And she was able to save me even more money than I had originally. I was like, oh, this is so good. I was able to do it in this budget. And then she saved me even more money. All of my family have been really helpful in setting up the property. I would have never been able to do it myself. I purchased everything to arrive on the day that I was going to obtain the keys. And then that weekend, literally just on the Saturday, we transported everything to the property and everything was set up that day, all the
wow.
furniture. And then I just went back the next day and I designed it nicely and did all the final touches. So the
Mhm.
setup really only took one weekend. Everything
Mm,
else, there were like finer details that delayed me, particularly with
yeah.
the internet. And then I would send, my brother, if I needed something handy done, he would go down and do it for me. And yeah, so my family has been really, really involved in the setup process. But the design, so the idea, because I have a Lebanese background, I wanted the whole branding of my company to be modern Mediterranean and express the hospitality and cleanliness that comes with that. So that's the theme. It's, affordable modern Mediterranean, but also with a sort of high class touch to it.
I like
And
that.
you'll see in my properties there will be a rakwe, which is a Lebanese coffee pot that you make the Lebanese coffee in, and the Lebanese coffee cups and the actual Lebanese coffee for you to use. And I thought, the modern Mediterranean vibe in the Sydney scene. It's like escaping to the Mediterranean whilst you're still at home.
Yeah.
So that was the
Yeah.
idea behind it.
Beautiful. And what adds to it is the fact that you can actually see a bit of the ocean
Yes,
from that balcony of
exactly.
yours as well.
Exactly.
Oh, let's talk about the booking.
Right.
So that first booking that came in, how soon after you launched it? Because you said you launched, was it the
On the
22nd of
22nd.
October?
Yes. And
Yeah.
then on the Friday, um,
So
actually,
wait, the
I had,
22nd of October was what day?
I think it was a Wednesday.
Wednesday. So the Friday
Yeah, and I had
following.
already received 2 or 3 bookings before the Friday, but they were for, further down the line. But on Friday, I received a booking, at 10 PM in the evening. I was at my sister's dance concert, and I get this message on Airbnb via Guesty. They say that they've attended an Airbnb that looked too dodgy and they were afraid to stay there, so they wanted to book my place instead. And I got really concerned because that seemed really odd to me, and I wasn't sure if I should accept their inquiry to book my place. But ultimately, I did a bit of a Google search on the name and I found out that yes, this is a real human being. And I mean, the identity was verified by Airbnb, so I think I was afraid for no reason. But it was the first time, so I'm like,
Mm,
I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I accepted it and the stay went completely fine. You know, they actually pretty much only slept in the bed and sat on the couch. The rest of the property
mm,
was untouched.
okay.
That guest booked for that night, so they
Yeah.
inquired at 10 p.m. and they stayed that night. And
Okay.
actually yesterday I had a similar experience. At 7:30 p.m. I had a guest book for yesterday night to stay tonight as well. So that's happened twice
Right.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very last minute, which I'm happy with.
Mhm.
It's great, thank God. Um,
Okay.
and I've had 2 inquiries that wanted to stay for an extended period of time, being a month. The first one wanted to stay actually for 6 weeks, but because I had bookings at the end of December, they'd have to leave and then come back. So it was a split. So it was a month and then another week and a half, or 2
Mm.
weeks and a half. And then a second inquiry for a month as well. But now they waited too long to book the month. So I now have, 2-week bookings and weekend bookings, and they're going to have to go out and come back if they want to rent my place for a longer period of time. But I was
Mm.
really surprised. Both of those people actually live locally and they want to move house, and they don't want to be in the current house that they're in. They want to move out and then look to sell and purchase whilst
Yeah,
they
that's
already
where
have
Airbnb
the house.
comes handy
Exactly.
for that's great.
Exactly, yeah. So I do have quite a few bookings now. I think at least 10, I would say. I didn't count them, but like my December is almost full, January is filling up, and November is slowly filling up, but I'm getting these really last minute bookings, so I'm pretty hopeful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. And have you worked out when you're gonna break even, or, like, has that happened already in terms of what you spent, and have you made that back yet?
Oh, I
'Cause
haven't sat down and crunched the numbers, no. I'm just really positive about it. I mean, but I should sit down and crunch the numbers. Um,
yeah.
I think so. Actually, I met someone 4 weeks ago, and we started a serious relationship only 2 weeks ago, and that was something
Oh,
that
wow.
occurred also amongst this whole mix.
Oh my goodness. There's just yeah,
It's
there's
all
so much
happening.
going on for you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, this is life. This is life to the fullest for you. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
this. Yeah.
And he's really good with numbers, so he's been helping out in that aspect, and I will definitely be sitting down with him and working out. I did work out, before I started this whole journey when I would break even. So I have a rough idea, but
Mm,
with the actual bookings that I have now, no, I haven't sat down and run those numbers yet.
I'd be
I just
interested to know
Yeah.
because, like you said, you've got so many bookings already. I'm pretty sure you have already.
Yeah, I don't think it will take me long to break even. I think
Yeah,
maximum 6
considering
months.
your upfront wasn't that much.
Exactly, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
your upfront spend.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And okay, so what's next for? Because your business is Beta Mara,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, because that little story about Stella
That's
Maris
my
was related
company
to
name. Yeah,
your, yeah,
yeah.
company name, but then this Airbnb business
It's
specifically,
by tomorrow.
because you're an entrepreneur, you've got other things going on.
100%.
Your Airbnb business is Bay Tamara.
Yes.
And so, what's the meaning behind that? Can you share a little bit about that? where that name came from.
So similarly, it's also a reference to Mother Mary, but Beit is house or lodging place in
Hmm.
all of the, well, it's in Arabic and also in Syriac. I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure in other, I want to say Semitic languages, but I might be wrong. That's the root of the word. It means, house. And then
Hmm.
Amara it can refer to beautiful, or Amar, which is the moon. And again, that's a reference to Mother Mary. So I just wanted it to be a Mediterranean themed business name that also refers to Mother Mary.
I love the consistency with all of it
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So, okay, so that's your business. We will have your website come up. I love your branding as well. It's and your logo. Who came up with the design?
Well, so I did. I
Mhm.
mocked up a design and I sent it to my friends for their feedback.
Mhm.
And then one of them said that, shout out to Jess. She also has a business called Set for Success where she provides HR solutions to businesses.
Yeah.
But she said, Murielle, I can help you out with this. So she created more designs for me on Adobe and sent them my way. And then another person that I showed put those designs in chat gpt, because I was struggling with choosing between from Jess's designs. They were all so beautiful, and so I showed them to people when I was asking them, what would you think I should choose, and someone put them into chat gpt, and then chat gpt was the one that spit out the logo that I'm using now, because it just made it more professional looking from the ones that I had.
Mm. I think when you use ChatGPT more as an assistant, I like to use it as a like an admin assistant.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. That's a very helpful way to use it. Save
Yeah,
time saver. Yeah.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And all right, so you've got this property, you've had it now. Oh my goodness, it's not even a month, which
No.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Are you looking at anything this side of the year, or between now and Christmas? Is it just a bit too busy for you? When are you thinking of taking on your second property, or what are you thinking? Maybe just stick to the first one,
Right.
see how this plays out, learn everything there is to know about managing it, or yeah, where are you thinking? Where's your head at?
So I did want to dive straight into going for the second property, and I definitely have the capability. But
You
our youth group had decided to plan a pilgrimage at the same time that the Pope will be in Lebanon. So
should,
I'm very excited because I'll be going on that trip end of November, early December. And I thought, okay, it's best to probably just put it on hold and, really understand how to work the first property through the end of the year. When I return from overseas, then I will
Mhm.
start to go to more inspections for the next property, because I
Yeah.
do intend on building a portfolio of up to 10 by October next year. Basically, what my dad said was, you do this one on your own, and then if it works and it turns out to be a good venture, I will definitely, partner with you. And I believe my siblings will also want to, because it's just up all of
For
our alley.
sure.
Yeah,
They
we
want to
definitely want to
see
work together.
what this is and understand
Yes.
it, and
I
yeah,
have to be the initiator, which I'm
yeah,
happy to be. I've
yeah,
always been the oldest child.
you are
It's not new.
already exactly.
Yeah.
What would you say your biggest win has been so far with taking on this property?
Ooh, biggest win. I think the biggest win, to be honest, was actually securing the property.
Hmm.
I was really excited about that. Um, and the number of bookings I've received already, and I've got 2 reviews, and the guest who just stayed and left my property on Sunday was
Hmm.
so wonderful. An absolutely fantastic guest. She left such a wonderful review, and it
Oh,
really, really warmed my heart. So I was very happy to be able to help them out. Basically, they were escaping their neighbors who were going to have a massive Halloween party, and they have a little son who wouldn't be able to sleep. That's why they were renting my place.
the reasons people book Airbnbs, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. And
Oh,
they asked to have a desk, and I was intending on putting a desk in my property, and I still hadn't. And I was like, okay, it's fine. I can buy one for you in the morning, which is what I did. I literally woke up at 7 a.m. that morning, went to Officeworks, bought a sit stand desk, went to the property, and built it. Initially, they were going to arrive around 11 a.m. They ended up getting there around 9 a.m. So I was at the property fixing the desk when they arrived. And
wow,
that's why I got to meet them, which was very wonderful, and had a short conversation with them. But they ended up having a wonderful stay, and they really appreciated me setting up the desk for them, which is
really,
completely fine.
I love that you're just going the extra mile for your guests. But what about like just this actual business model for you? What's been sort of the win? And then you can share a challenge as well.
Okay. Well, with this business model, the win would be how it molds into, the skills I have and the skills my family have. And it gives us the opportunity to free up our time. Um, it's been really simple, other than a few times where I've chosen to go out to the property. I can really sit back and not have to do anything myself after I've set it up. And even that part can be passed on to others, for you. And it's completely hands off. So it can generate that residual income. In a very short period of time. As I said, within the last 2 months, I've already got this property that is generating income for me and freeing up my time in the background such that I can go out and do other things like serve the youth at my parish or be with my family, or go out with my friends, or and also it will provide an income stream such that I can go and help out others. All of my family is overseas. I don't have any relatives in Australia, and they all live in Lebanon. So my dad is one of the providers for them when they're in need, and I would love to help him out to help them and others as well. And that's part of what we're going to do on the pilgrimage. It started out as a mission trip, but we don't have many days in Lebanon, so we're just going to go and help some organizations financially and be there for the Pope and then come back. So that's the win of this business. It is so doable, and equipped with the right information and with the right community, you will definitely thrive. That's what I would have to say.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Where you're promoting our coaching business route.
Well, I
Amazing.
mean, it's helped
Yeah,
me
this is
out
like
so much. So,
yeah. Oh, that's beautiful to hear. Like, and that's what this community is all
mm,
about, you know.
mm,
And it's like you said before, there's people in this community as well who are just starting out, and then there's people who have been on this journey for much longer,
yes.
you know, with more properties
Yeah,
and the lessons that they've learned and what they can then share from their own experience is just you're not always going to pick that up from just course material, right? It's the actual practicalities, seeing it in action, hearing how people are managing different challenges along the way
that's
that
right.
you just sometimes never think you're ever going to face. But then some things just take you by surprise. But it's about creating coming up with a solution then and there. But what helps is obviously, like I said, having people within that community who've gone through,
100%.
experienced certain things, and
Yep.
yeah, just
Your
what they add.
Yeah, your friends and your association are the biggest influences on your life. You can tell where someone's going to go in their life by looking at their friends.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
He
There's
said.
nothing truer.
That's it. Amen to that. And what would you say has been then your biggest challenge, I guess, with this particular business model?
The biggest challenge. I guess the challenging part about doing something like this is you're going to have a lot of people question, are you sure that this is a good idea? There are many regulations in New South Wales. Are you sure you want to take the risk? I would tell some people, and a few of them would be extremely positive and encourage me, but most people the response was just like, oh, yeah, cool. We'll see where this goes. And a few of them, would respond in a little bit of a negative way, with worry and with doubt and uncertainty. It is so important to understand your why and
Mm,
to build to fill yourself with belief and to back yourself. Um,
mm,
if you seen, if you are someone who thinks outside the box. Do not be afraid to take that step and to grow. Don't have people who unfortunately don't yet see what you see hold you back. So that was one of the challenges, not being sidetracked by others who don't see what I see and don't have the same why as me and haven't actually sat down and done the research and done the planning. Just making sure that I stick by what I said I was going to do, be true to
mm,
your word and run with it. Um,
mm,
and for me, of course, I have been guided through prayer, and through great mentorship.
Yeah.
And so making sure that you have good pillars and foundations in place to keep you on track, and run with it, back yourself. That was a little challenging, but for
Yeah.
me, because I was already fueled up on belief, it wasn't too hard to make sure that I stayed focused and that I did what I said I was going to do.
Yeah.
And make sure you plan a lot in advance, but at the same time, do not plan forever.
Yeah.
There's a point at which you need to take action. Um,
Hmm.
and so a criticism of my journey may have been that I did not plan enough, although I think that that was because I had already had, systems, mindset in place that allowed me to journey quickly. But yeah,
Mm.
there definitely needs to be struck a balance of planning and action. And I think
Yeah.
that action needs to take precedence, because planning will never get you there. It's the action
Mm.
that'll get you there. And if you
Yeah.
fall along the way, the point is you get back up and you continue. And that's what you learn as an entrepreneur. There's always a solution to a problem.
That's it.
Yeah.
Gosh, you could be a motivational speaker, you know that?
Oh,
And
thank
I guess
you.
and that's where I love that you are involved, at the level that you're at in your church with the mentorship. You give mentorship to younger, is it girls and boys or just a group of
So
girls?
it's girls and boys that I serve. Basically, I assist the priests and the clergy to
Mm.
run spiritual events and initiatives for the youth,
Mhm.
spiritual and charitable. So most of these things I initiated again because after COVID they all sort of stopped and slowed down. And
Yeah.
when I came in onto the team, it was my job to reignite all these things that we had going on prior to COVID, which were
Wow.
hospital visits, aged care centre visits, fundraisers. We do hampers for Christmas for children and families in need, blood donations. I run a book club that meets pretty much every Tuesday night in the year discussing a new spiritual book that we've read, debate nights, day retreats, pilgrimages, which is one we're organising at the end of this month. So those are the things that I do. And we also, I mentioned it earlier, the Fiat 90 challenge. It's based off of the Exodus 90 challenge, which is the one that men do. And it's basically a spiritual challenge that focuses on mind, body, and soul. And there are disciplines in each of those categories that you attempt to follow for 90 days leading up to Easter. And it really challenges you. And the whole point is it's going to be hard and you know you're going to fail. But the point is that you said yes and you tried. And every time you do it, you get better and you grow in virtue, and the vice, you try and improve on the vices that you have. So
Wow.
that's what I do.
So you oversee all of that, and
So
then have you people that help you implement?
there are so many people that help me implement, and I could not do any of this without them. Particularly, there is three girls who I think originally started the Fiat Challenge, because the first time I did it, I think it was in 2021 or 2022. And
Mm.
I was nowhere near who I am today back then. Another beautiful girl, her name is Mary. She's Jess's sister. She is someone, if you think I am fueled up on belief, you have not met Mary. So I just have like just fantastic women around me.
You
Um,
sure do.
and you
My
know
God.
what? The first of them, how can I not mention my mum? My mum is insane, and so is my dad. They've kept our family household, the way in which they've provided for us. I am eternally grateful and can never be, more blessed. So I'm very, very thankful to them. And I pray that people in future understand the importance of a family unit that is kept together with a husband and wife that, support each other and their family first. That's the most
Mm.
important thing. It is the foundation of society.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more there. And I love that.
And you know what? That's what I saw in you and James's journey. And that's why I chose to jump on to this program, because I really resonated with your why and your journey, and also the fact that you had an international impact. And that's what I hope to eventually achieve as well.
My gosh, Murielle, why are you making me tear up on the podcast like this? Wow.
I mean,
You are
that's the
one
power.
incredible young woman that
Oh, thank
honestly
you.
you inspire me. I'm like
No.
doing when I was 27, right? You're 27.
Yes.
Oh, you're absolutely
Oh,
wonderful,
thank
marvelous,
you.
and I cannot wait to see where this business goes for you because of just everything that is in you,
Thank you.
instilled in you, and your mindset. And yeah, it's as you say, it's so important who you surround yourself with because they really will determine how far you'll go in life.
Most
And
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
Thank you
couldn't
so
agree
much,
more.
Steph. Thank
And
you.
so aligned, I think, in our values, in so many of our values as well. And that's why we've connected so
That's
well. And I'm so glad you decided to jump on this podcast. And
thank you.
thank you so much. Honestly,
That's the power of Christ. When you
shared.
have the power of Christ within you, and that's what I saw within you and James. And yeah, it really shines.
It's beautiful. Like I said, you're going to make me cry. I'm like, okay. So, any closing thoughts? I mean, my gosh, anyone listening to this right now, I hope you've been encouraged, uplifted, empowered to just go out and start something, whether it be an Airbnb business, whatever it is.
Back
But
yourself.
no means like exactly back yourself. But how could they not be motivated after hearing your story and hearing everything that you've shared?
I hope
Um,
so. I mean, I'm
yeah.
literally just a random nobody from Western Sydney, born in Lebanon. Like, I come from the most normal family, and trust me, you are capable of so much, so
Yeah.
long as you believe and you
Mhm.
back yourself,
Mhm.
and put it into action. Take action.
That's it.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
those would be my closing words.
Beautifully
Um,
said. Couldn't have ended it any better than that. Oh, sorry, I cut you off there. What else? What else were you going to say
I was
there?
gonna recommend some books, but
Oh, yes, please do.
one
How
book
many? How many have you got? You got top three. Go.
I've read
Your
too
top
many, but
three.
one
Okay.
if you're looking to change your mindset for sure in terms of financial independence, for sure,
Mhm.
start with Rich Dad Poor Dad. Another
Yes.
one that's really important, I would say, is well, I read and I didn't think that I would enjoy, but I really enjoyed. It was called Chop Wood Carry Water, and the last one, the
Wait,
most
say that again. I've not heard of that one.
Chop Wood Carry Water. It's sort of a philosophical story that is
Okay.
told, and you learn
Yeah.
lessons about good habits and entrepreneurship within it. And
Amazing.
the other one, which is really popular, and I highly recommend, because most of being able to do what I do is I have to have a very good level of discipline, and that means
Mm,
forming the right habits. So Atomic Habits is a very good one to read as well.
great one. Yes.
Yes. And one more
Great.
thing, whilst you put up the beautiful photos of my Airbnb, how can I not shout out my photographer? So it's Sale
Yeah.
by ECL Captures. He was originally in the wedding photography industry, but is now moving into the commercial side and doing commercial business shots. And he is absolutely fantastic. So please go and check out his page.
Photos are phenomenal. All right. Well, Murielle, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story and inspiring others who, maybe they've not gotten started or maybe they have and they're in the middle of it all. And this has definitely like brought some encouragement and inspired and empowered in ways that we may not know about, but hopefully they leave a comment on this YouTube video or Spotify, wherever they're watching this or listening to it. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the follow button as well so that more people can be exposed to this show and be able to watch this and learn so much from it. Thank you so much for tuning in to Behind the B&B.
Thank you so much, Steph.